Welcome back into the workshop, and I've been sitting inside doing absolutely nothing for the last hour and a half. And what do you do when you're sitting inside doing nothing for that length of time and have got a wee bit of a problem out in the workshop? Well, you get online and you buy something, don't you? Now, the story thus far. I had made a video, whether I've downloaded to YouTube or not, I'm not too sure. Probably will delete the damn thing. But I ran up to against a bit of a problem. I want to thread this 8mm shaft. It's not just a simple bit of mild steel. It is a shaft material. Well, put it this way, as far as I know, it's 304 stainless. Now, apparently, stainless can be a bit tricky to thread and tap, apparently. Yeah, well, I had a lot of problems. I got about 3 threads in, and I couldn't hold it well enough in either the drill press chuck, and I was really gronking down on the key to the point of bending it, but I couldn't hold it enough for it to thread with the die. So I broke out the big boy. So this is a lathe chuck I have for all sorts of purposes, and put it in the lathe chuck and really gronked down on the key and thought, yeah, yay, that's it. Yeah, no, it wasn't actually. It wouldn't, even this, with all the pressure I could put onto the key, wouldn't hold the pin enough for this to cut. Now that's either saying this is not very good, or the diameter of the shaft I'm cutting, 8mm, is just too big for the tolerances built into this particular die. Okay, says I, maybe I've got another pin. This is actually a piston for an injection machine. Maybe this is not as hard. Well, yes, it was. Not only was it hard, also stainless steel, but I think I broke the leading teeth, cutting the lead-in teeth on the die. Yeah, well, I'm not very happy about that, and I don't wind up with what I need. And what I need is to have a thread that will go in one of these standoffs to replace this pin that I've got in there. The pin is just a bolt, and just through some, happenstance, the heat shrink insulation that I put on it to bulk it up was the right size. This is the right size, but without a thread on it. So, yeah, I will want this to interface. I'll just do this off camera so you can't see it. You'll have to trust me, I'm actually doing it. That's what I want. When I have that, I've replaced the imperfect equivalent there. And the imperfect side of things is that they're not always consistent, the heat shrink, and sometimes the heat shrink itself gets caught and gets a bit munched. So I wanted to get rid of that issue. This would be the ideal thing. It means that when I put it in a 20mm hole, in this case, that's got zero wiggle in it, and the shaft is pretty well matched to the drill guide dimension. This one means I don't have all the problems that I've been having. In fact, if I'm doing it correctly, this will come up there, and I'll be able to insert it into the hole. No wiggle, or any wiggle that is perceivable is very, very small. 3 of those would actually show up let's pretend that this plate is perfect. I've drilled holes in here. It'll show up any deficiencies in the holes, because if these are not perfect, these won't line up all that well. Okay, so let's say that is the case. I've got a bit of a problem, haven't I? But I've found that just by, hang on, and I'll show you, just by getting a reaming tool. Yes, it's a hand reamer. Just by reaming the hole out, generally gets a very nice fit. So I've got a process that I can follow. So, broke my die, knocked the teeth off of that, couldn't grip the shaft enough in either the lathe chuck or the drill press chuck. So what did I do? Well, my automatic reaction was, let's go find an engineer that can actually machine something up, either put a thread on these shafts. I need about 3 or 4 of them. Either thread the pin, the shaft, so that it will go in these pins, or machine something up like that to the exact tolerances that these two have, because that's all I need. They don't have to be threaded. It could be a single piece of steel, mild steel. It wouldn't matter. So long as it has these tolerances, I'd be more than happy. So that might be the avenue I go down. But no, not just yet though. Sitting inside for that period of time, got online, and I have ordered a new die, but it's a split die or adjustable die, in the hope that I can spread the die apart enough to allow the threading action to, like the amount of material being removed, to allow me to at least put a cursory or starting thread on the stainless steel, and then backing off the spreading, the adjustability part of it, let the die come back to its more standard diameter and cut the correct sized thread. Is that going to be what happens? I got no idea. I'm a builder, not an engineer. And I understand that, as I've said in the past. Stainless steel is a bit more tricky to thread and tap and cut than ordinary mild steel. Go figure. Both of these are 304 stainless. I don't know whether that is its metallurgical model or whatever. I'm not even going to say that word. The makeup of the metal, or whether that's got something to do with the hardness. I would suggest the hardness and the makeup of the metal are two parallel but separate things. So it could be that even with the split die, it's not going to work and not help me at all. Hence, go to see an engineer. Now, while I was sitting there mulling over my shortcomings as an engineer, the many of them, I was thinking about the miter station here, and how I was wanting to make the miter station, the miter saw, actually cut miters. Kind of goes hand in glove with the miter saw, doesn't it? Yeah, except this is being used only as a drop saw, a sliding drop saw, not a miter saw, not a compound. Just the issue is the dust collection and the base. If I have a miter, I'm going to be cutting into the base. Don't want to do that. And the dust collection, well, that becomes a wee bit tricky in the way I've got the fence and the box set up. So, my thoughts initially I've got a bit of box section here. I put a 20mm pin in there. I've now got my miter capable part of my saw, and with the use of a digital readout, angle finder, rule, whatever you want to call it, I can dial up whatever darn angle I want. Thank you very much. Off to the races. So I've now got the very accurate miter facility for my drop saw. 90 degrees, cut only. What I'm contemplating doing is using that, or equivalent and it'll have to be equivalent because this is no good. For the reason it's not 90 degrees. Now, I'm more than willing to pack out the edge of this to make it 90 degrees. Not going to be all that difficult, in fact. If, a layer or two of masking tape along the bottom edge there, put a piece like that, then all of a sudden you've got your 90 degrees. And therefore, having something that can pivot, making sure the metal is well away from the saw blade, I can fix a sacrificial piece up here, a consumable piece, and then I'm back to having a pivot. I would like that in aluminium, but the metal, hey, I've got this bit here, I could make use of it. I've got lots of this. I could make use of this, and I probably will be using this. But these things allow us to use the drop saw. No longer a miter saw, but the miter saw in a drop saw, orientational mode, so that we keep our zero tolerance insert with their, all the incumbent dust collection capabilities. I don't have to make anything different. I've got my mitering capability there. In fact, if I wanted to do that, in fact, why isn't that going down? It should. Oh, there you go. I have got my 45 degree set up by way of, in fact, I'll reword that. I will definitely reword that. I have got my 45 degree set up should I wish to cut a 45, just by the way of having those pins there. So if I want to do a miter, which is generally going to be 45 for what I want, I can. But then I've got all the other angles as well. So that's what I'm saying. So why not make use of it? Yeah. So I'm going to now make up a little bit of. I've mentioned about this before, weeks and weeks ago, but it was just something that cropped up the other day, and I thought, and today, I thought, maybe I can just leave it in its configuration, 90 degree plant, the drop saw configuration, and then not get too obsessed with having to have this dust extraction system. I'm going to remake it anyway, but with two 65mm ports, one on either side, that will go into the ducting. But that's beside the point. It's basically the same box, just with those other ports in. So, yeah, those couple of things. But by God, that back on the tapping thing, that really annoyed me when I could hear when I was using this, and I hear the graunch. I thought, I kind of know what that graunch means, and yeah, broke I think you can't see, but properly or clearly, but it looks like the leading teeth have been broken off. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if push comes to shove, I would be more than happy to try and find a source of mild steel 8mm pins, not stainless, pins, just mild steel, and then tap it. But I've already got these. And yeah. Anyway, we'll see. That is basically what I'm going to have to do, because I've got no flaming choice other than that. And it will tell me what to do. It either works and I'm very happy, or it doesn't work and I have to think of something else. Rightio, that's it. Getting late in the afternoon. Might make an evening meal and head to the television screen. Watch a movie. Rightio, that's it. I'm off. I'll see you in the next one now. Bye.